everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be just talking about how to figure out how much food you should be feeding your dog and or puppy. The food on the right belongs to Pickle and the food on the left belongs to Beauty. So these are the empty bags. I keep them in plastic tubs so that they're not, stolen. Not that someone would do that. So there's difference between adult dogs and puppies. So adult dogs tend to have a set amount of food that they will have in a day because they usually do either the same thing every day or they've stopped growing. So they don't need any of the extra food to help them with growth. Whereas pups are entirely different. Pups need a constantly increasing amount of food. And then when they hit adulthood, they'll kind of top out at a certain amount. Now, the amount of food you're feeding your dog depends on your dog's lifestyle, their weight, and their health. So if you have a dog that, say, has kidney disease, or they've got urinary issues, or they're diabetic, or all sorts of different issues, you might need to just go to a vet and the vet will tell you specifically, this is how much you want to give, this is what type of food you should be feeding, so that your dog is as healthy as possible. Whereas my guys are relatively healthy, so for Beauty, we'll start with Beauty. Beauty has Gain Original. It's a pretty popular brand over here in Ireland, and it's pretty easy to get. It's not very expensive, and it's got everything they need. So for this, you'll see on the back it has the information of what it is and what's in it. But as with most things, down here it says instructions for use. And in it, it says dog weight and the serving per day. So per day is the total amount they should get altogether. So if you've got 2 meals, you split this in half and then all together throughout the day they get whatever this number is. So this is for a medium activity. So I would deem Beauty as being low to medium activity. So she probably gets a little bit less than what's on this because I don't want her putting on excess weight because we bothered getting it off her. I don't want it to go back on. So, hello. So, dog weight and then the serving per day. So Beauty is around the 23 kilo mark. So 20 kilos is 315 grams. She's around the 23 kilos. So I give her the 315 grams, just so it's slightly under what she should be getting, because on top of that, she'll get a carrot or a dentist stick or a couple of treats throughout the day when we're training. And the more treats they get, the less food they get. So if on a Monday, we go around on our walks and stuff and it's just normal, there isn't many treats, she'll get her 315. Tuesday is the same, 315. And then Wednesday, she goes out for a walk with the dog walker for an adventure for an hour with all the other dogs. She will get maybe 400 grams when she comes back, or she'll get the 315 and then lots of treats while she's out with him, just to even out so you don't have a lot of weight loss. Sorry, I'm being eaten over here. So you don't have a lot of weight loss and you don't have a lot of weight gain. So you're just kind of evening it out. Now, if you've got a dog that is overweight, so when I had her and she was overweight, she was on a different food, but she was only on 150, 175 grams per day. So it was a very small amount of food, but it was a specific food for diabetic dogs losing weight. It was a very specific food. So because of that, it was a small number of nuts, but it expanded in the stomach to make her feel fuller. So she'd use up her fat reserves, so she'd lose weight. So when you've got an adult food like this, it'll be very simple. It'll either be low, medium, and high activity, or like this, it'll just say medium activity, and you sort of judge it yourself above and below to see what it is your dog is eating. With puppies, it is different. Look at this absolute vicious fluff ball. I know. Anyway, sorry. With puppies, it is different. So with puppies, I've got her on Multifit Farmer. Multifit is, again, it's not an expensive brand. It's actually a fairly cheap brand. But I got her from a farm originally. She came from a farm. And because of that, she was being fed food that wasn't bad. It was Gain, but it was meant for greyhounds. And because of that, I wanted to switch her to something that is going to be a bit better for her breed specifically. So I've put her on this. And then when she's an adult, I'll switch her to the original Gain as well. So herself and Beauty will be on the same food. But as a pup, she needs a different food. She needs puppy-specific food so that it has the extra fats and stuff in it to help her grow, because they grow extraordinarily fast. And they need help maintaining that and making sure they're not going to be underdeveloped or making sure they're not going to be too small. So with puppy foods, it is entirely... Please stop, madam. Pickle. Pickle, please. I need my sleeve. Thank you. With puppies, it is different because she can't accept. She's like, that is my food. Stop. Right, we're going in the air. I'm sorry, pup. With puppies, it is different. So you will have a list down the side of what weight they are going to be as an adult. Across the top is how many months old they are. And then in between all that is how much they should be fed per day. So she is a collie. So she should be around between the 15 and the 20 kilos in a day. Right? No, sorry, when she's an adult. So realistically, she's going to be the 20 kilos. So I'm going to go to the 20 kilos. And I'm going to say she's currently 3 to 5 months old. So she should be on 315 grams a day. So she's actually on the same amount of food weight-wise as Beauty is, even though she's much smaller, because Beauty will eat it and it'll just sort of maintain what she is, and that's fine. Whereas this one will eat it and she will use it. I know, I'm sorry. She will use it to grow and get better at, you know, being big. What are you doing? You madman. So then when she hits the 6 months, I'll be upping her again just a bit to 345. And then when she hits 8, I'll be going to 340. And I'll be reducing it because she's not going to be growing as much at that point. So pups eat a lot. And it's not just they're really hungry so they eat everything. They need it to grow. So you need to give them a high quality puppy food. This is a quality puppy food, but it is not a high quality in my opinion. Like, it's not a very rich puppy food. But if I gave her that, she would be very upset in the stomach. Like, she wouldn't do well. She was on the Greyhound gain, and then she went to a friend of mine, and she was, buddy, pickle. Yeah, please don't. Thank you. She went to a friend of mine, and then she was on those, you know those wet pouches from Aldi? They're like a couple of cent each and whatever. And so she was on that. And so when she came to me and I gave her this the first time, she did not do well. She had diarrhea everywhere. It did not suit her at all. But we've gotten to a point now where it's suiting her a lot better. She definitely likes it anyway. Buddy, thank you. And it's it's going to get better. I know it will. It'll get nice and healthy and grown up. And when we reach that point, thank you, she'll go on to the gain as well. So with that, what you can do is, what I tend to do is I have one moment. I have a cup like this. And this is a cup for Select Gold, which is a Maxi Zoo brand, or I think in Germany it's called something else because it's German. It's like Frasknup or something. I cannot pronounce German very well, I apologize. But I've got this cup, and this cup is for Select Gold, so it does not work. You cannot just scoop it and be like, okay, this. But what I've done instead is I've just put a mark. That's how much food Beauty gets in the entire day. Madam, stop. Pickle, thank you. I know. So, that's how much food, Beauty gets in one meal. That's what it is. So, in the morning, I can scoop this and I can just fill it to there. And it's easy enough. Or, what I found to be very convenient recently, sorry buddy, please don't eat the Bessie bottle. What I found recently is, I have a scoop in here for any of the reptile people who follow me. This is a tub for Morio worms. Stop. Pickle. Thank you. That fell at a perfect moment. And this cup, this scoop, 1.5 of these is exactly what she needs. 2 of these is exactly what she needs. So between them, I can use this cup, which is easily replaceable in case it gets damaged or filthy or chewed on by someone. And I know so much food. So I can easily replace it and it's good to do. But what I did was I measured out all of the food that's needed into their bowl. And then I poured the bowl food into the cup to see how many cups does it fill. And it's just really conveniently handy that it was 1.5 for her and 2 for herself. I know. Now, this is Beauty's food. Want to try one of them? What do you think? Is it as good as your one? I don't know. You just swallowed it whole. Right, down we get. Down we get. Good woman. Buddy, move your little feet. Move your little feet. Go on, get down. Good girl. Well done. So yeah, that's it for the dry food. And then I've done a video previously on butternut box, which is a completely different, food that you can get that I definitely recommend. I really like it. I know they advertise as selling food for pups, but for her, again, it would be too rich. It just would be way too rich for her. And so what I'm doing currently is Beauty gets either 2 scoops of the nuts in the day per meal, or she'll get 1 scoop of nuts and 1/4 of a tray of the butternut box. And that way there's something wet in it, there's something nice in it. She's currently on meds, she hurt her leg, and the meds don't taste very nice, so I mix them in with the wet food, and then she just eats it, she's fine. So that's the upside for her. For her, I give her like a 1/2 teaspoon of it occasionally, just as a treat in her dinner, so she could be like, oh, this is tasty, but I wouldn't rely on it as an entire meal. Firstly, because I haven't done enough research on it for pups, so I'm not confident with it, but also because I know this brand. I've used this brand in the past, and I know pups who have grown up and been lovely and healthy and sporty pups, and ones who've done sledding and agility on this. So I'm going to stick with what I know, and stick with what I know is good, and it's agreeing with her stomach, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I know, but we'll get used to her eventually. So yeah, that's it for this video. It's just a really quick thing of how to read the back of it and how to judge by yourself. Obviously, again, if you've got a working dog, so if you've got a service dog, if you've got a collie like herself, but she's being used for herding or for bringing in cattle or sheep, etc., or you're doing, say, sporting events, you'll want to up the food, and you'll want to do it according to what your sport is. So I know service dogs, they get walked a lot more than per usual. So if I remember correctly, and double check this, again, it depends on what service they're doing, I think they're on 1.5 times the usual food, so they get 50% more than they usually would get. And then, I think herding dogs can be up to 3 times the amount because they're running for long periods in the day. So it depends on what it is they're doing for work, what type of work it is, how long during the day they're doing it for, and how good they are at it, I suppose. Like a pup learning how to herd wouldn't be on a terribly increased amount because they're not actually really doing much. They're just running around playing, and then when they're tired they'll stop. And so on and so forth. Like it's very much judging off of your individual circumstances, and it's very much just researching specifically into what it is that would suit your guy the best. So yeah, that's it for this video, and we thank you very much. And my room is an absolute mess because someone keeps pulling blankets and pillows and toys and slippers and everything everywhere. Oh, someday you'll get a little bit bigger and I'll be able to leave things around the place. Right. So yeah, thank you very much, and if you've any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will do my absolute best to help, and thank you very much for watching.